There are some things we know for certain. Always throw spilt salt over your left shoulder, and always fangirl over a witchy movie with your spooky bestie.
Cool Mates Entertainment presents Not Another Spooky Podcast.
Hey Ghoster Squad, welcome back to Not Another Spooky Podcast, aka your favorite spooky slumber party. I'm Mandy Spooks.
And I'm Rabbit Loves Horror. We're just two lifelong besties keeping the spook alive together all year.
To set the vibe for this episode, let's get into some slumber party shenanigans. Today's game is Bone, Marry, Slash. Okay, if you have to bone, marry, and slash from these practical magic characters, what would your lineup be? We have Michael, who is Sally's... I don't want to call him dead husband. Isn't there like a proper term to call him?
Late husband?
Yes, thank you, late husband. I had a little brain fart. We have Jimmy, the evil boyfriend, and Gary, the cop.
Yeah, so I know you had earlier just put the names in, and I was like, I don't know their names by memory. So I had to go in and like see who was who. So that's why I kind of put in my notes of like who's who. I think this one's kind of easy for me, honestly. So
Okay.
I'll slash Gary. I wasn't... Is that a hot take?
I think it might be.
We'll slash Gary. I don't know. It was just so... I guess we'll get into it. But I guess it's just part of like the magical spark that they had between them. So that they just knew that they had a connection. But I wasn't feeling it. So we'll slash Gary. We'll bone Jimmy. He was kind of cute, but a little evil. So we can just, one night stand. We'll be done. And then I'll marry Michael. He was so cute. And I don't know, they just look so happy. And I was like, oh, why did he have to die? Why did he have to get run over by a truck?
Spoiler alert!
That's not a spoiler. That's what sets the whole movie up.
I know.
But I don't know. I just really liked him, and I was sad when he died. And I don't know. I think I liked him out of all of the men in the movie. What about you?
That is fair. Okay, so I would slash Michael. I don't know. Like, he's cute, but the life just seemed a little vanilla for me. And so I don't think I could, like, be happy,
Plus, it's already dead, so.
Yeah, true. And then I would bone Jimmy. Definitely fun for a one night stand, but not forever. And then, of course, marry Gary. I feel like he seems similar to the vibes of Michael, but like a little bit more because he's kind of like a little cocky at the same time. So there's that like little playfulness added in, and he'd always protect you. So yeah.
That's fair.
All right, let's get into some haunted housekeeping. So today's news is more like a few shameless plugs, but if you want to keep the practical magic vibes going, I have quite a few other places you can tune in. First up, we have my original episode of Practical Magic on Not Another Spooky Podcast before our lovely co-host joined me. It focused a lot on our community's love for the film, and it's one of my favorite episodes to date, so I highly recommend it. Second, I have a full trailer review for Practical Magic 2 on my channel where I shared my thoughts on what I think the sequel will get right. And lastly, I also have a video on the actual true crime story inspired by Practical Magic. I will leave all of those links in the description for you. All right, Ghosters, let's turn the spooky summer party into a seance and call upon Menser Van Ghoul.
Hi, ghoulies. How is everyone? I hope you've been having a really good summer so far. You've been staying cool, getting hydrated. I feel like Robin and I have really been enjoying summer. I feel like the rise of Halloween is just around the corner. I'm really excited for Practical Magic. I can't believe it's almost been 30 years. Definitely makes me feel old. Can we also just like stop doing that? Stop doing the 30th anniversary of this or the 15th anniversary. Like, I'm done. I don't need to be reminded how old it was. It came out last week. But I want to share my favorite witch, just enjoying her summer. And you might have seen on my Instagram earlier, but I decided I'm not going to post things and then say, oh, I'll fix something I didn't like later, because then that just gets added to the pile. So earlier this month, I posted this photo, but I changed her head and added her arm. I just want to know, what is Ursula up to this summer? Like, where is she staying cool? Is she staying hydrated? Is she having a little summer ween moment? And I just think she looks adorable and she's just really enjoying her time off.
I really love this. It's really weird, and you're probably going to hate this, but like as an adult, I have started to resonate more and more with Ursula. And I'm like, am I Ursula? Because we're both plus size queens, we're both purple lovers, and I'm obsessed with a jack-o'-lantern. And so when you did this, I was like, hey, it's like seeing the summer ween that I didn't have.
It's fair.
Yeah, and I do like this picture because I feel like this is something she would do. She would just like escape to a little island and just hang out by herself, enjoying summer week all on her own.
Yeah, I don't think Ursula ever did anything wrong, so it's totally fine to resonate with the villains. I mean, she's just keeping an eye out on Ariel. You know, she's just making sure everything's good on the surface level. That's all.
Keeping tabs.
But I actually do have a surprise for the both of you, because it is both of your birthdays this month, and because it's my
Ooh.
half birthday, I actually do have a surprise. Even Rabbit hasn't seen this yet, so I hope it's a surprise. Actually, in the last episode, you talked about Mandy. You talked about how it was weird that I like stupid things. I love stupid things, like anything where I can just turn my brain off and I just like chuckle at it. So this thought came to my mind. I don't know if y'all are familiar, but I decided to do this. I don't know if you remember this cartoon, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. But this time,
Oh,
it's the Pod Adventures of Willie and Mandy. So just bringing in
oh,
bringing in Rabbit's persona, you know, and making sure that y'all are just having a good birthday, celebrating y'all with some corny early 2000s cartoons.
oh, that is so cute. Rabbit or Mentor, do you want to explain the Willy lore in case anyone is joining that has not heard our past episodes?
Yeah, so we've like a newborn child, we have gone through a lot of name changes with Rabbit's drag persona. I
Mm-hmm.
think Rabbit settled on calling themselves Willie when they're in drag in honor of their middle name.
Yes.
So Willie, I just thought was clever because Billy and Mandy, you're already safe because the character's already named Mandy. So I thought this would just be them dressing up as y'all for Halloween. I gave her a little lavender because I know you're obsessed with purple and I don't get it, but that's your thing. And little spooky space buns. And then, of course, Rabbit, we had to keep the mustache, the skeleton shirt you always wear, and your cute little ears.
Oh, that is so cute.
Y'all
It
have seen the
really
show,
is. I
right?
No, so actually, I know it because people always reference it with me because obviously, like Mandy and Spooky, and I have never seen it, but I did know the reference because it's not the first time it's come up.
I don't think I've actually seen like a full episode. Like I've seen it on the TV, like maybe like family members were watching it, maybe my brother. But I don't think I've ever like sat down and watched a full episode on my own. But this artwork is really cute. I really like how Mandy looks. She's so angry in the photo. I just look like goofy, but it's cute. I love it.
Pretty
Thank
accurate.
you.
I do love it. Sinister sketches as always, Mentor Van Ghoul.
I'll sketch y'all later.
All right, Ghoulsters, it's time to get into the spooky mood for today's main event of practical magic. So grab your notebooks and pencils, cause Slash is in session. You forgot again.
Is it my thing? I thought it was yours.
No.
Ding 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 ding.
There we go. You've been getting it the past few episodes, so I was like, oh, he's got it this time. All right, so if you've seen Practical Magic, you probably remember the creepy ticking sound that follows the Owens women whenever one of the men they love is about to die. But believe it or not, that particular piece of spooky folklore has a real-world origin. It's called the Death Watch beetle, and yes, it is an actual beetle. The Death Watch beetle is a small wood-boring insect that makes a distinctive tapping or ticking sound by banging its head against the wood. The sound is part of how the beetles communicate, but for centuries, people didn't didn't know that. Instead, hearing that rhythmic ticking coming from inside the walls of a quiet house, especially at night, became associated with death. The sound was sometimes heard in homes where someone was actually ill or dying, and eventually people began interpreting it as an omen that death was nearby. That's actually where the name Death Watch comes from. The ticking was compared to the watch kept beside someone who was dying, almost like the beetle was keeping watch over the dead. And that's what makes the scene in Practical Magic so good. The movie takes this very real piece of creepy folklore and turns it into a supernatural warning system for the Owen's curse. Instead of simply hearing a random noise in the walls, the sisters know exactly what it means. Someone they love is about to die. So while there isn't a real-life Owen's curse where witches are doomed to lose every man they fall in love with, the idea of hearing a mysterious sound and believing it's a warning of death is actually rooted in a centuries-old superstition, which means if you're ever lying in bed at night and suddenly hear ticking coming from inside your walls, maybe don't immediately assume it's the pipes. And with that, class is dismissed.
That's what I kind of like about this movie, is that it takes like real or like things that we know already and kind of like puts it into this world of practical magic, which I have examples later. But I like that she took a real bug that makes this weird thing that it does and kind of like incorporate it into the movie, because that's so sadistic to bang your head against the wood. Did you see like why it does it? Like, is it just a thing it does, or?
Oh, how ironic. It's a mating call.
Oh
my gosh, that's kind of even more poetic though, because it's kind of like they're seeking a mate. So are they claiming a human life for their mate?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like,
I
it's
don't
my
like
turn.
it.
I'm coming.
Yeah. That's crazy. Good question. All right, Ghoulsters, it's time for our favorite chat of the month, keeping the spook alive.
Ooh. I don't know if that was loud enough.
I heard it. So,
Okay.
Rabbit, how are we keeping the spook alive?
Alrighty, so today, obviously, we're keeping the spook alive by watching Practical Magic. So let's get into it. The popcorn meter is currently at 73%, which is fair, I guess. It was originally released October 16th, 1998. So in the 90s. It's old school. Director was Griffin Dunn, I think. Written by Alice Hoffman, Robin Swickard, Akiva Goldsman, and of course it stars Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman, and Stockard Channing. And it's about two witch sisters raised by their eccentric aunts in a small town, face closed mind prejudice and a curse which threatens to prevent them from ever finding lasting love. So, how long had it been since you last saw it?
Honestly, probably since I last covered it on the podcast in 2022. I feel like I do watch it annually, but I honestly, that year, because I dissected it so much for the episode, it like took a real emotional toll on me, and it left me
Really?
like not wanting to watch it. So like I'll throw it on ever since then when I'm doing stuff, and that's like my annual watch because I just can't let myself feel it. But then that changed this year because they showed it in theaters, which is like a whole other thing to talk about. So I'd love to hear how long it's been since you've seen it, because I actually thought you might not have seen it.
No, I've definitely seen it. Just not in a very long time. But that's funny that you had to recover from this movie. And one movie that I also have been avoiding to watch because I couldn't recover easily from it was Edward Scissorhands. I watched it like, I don't know, over 5 years ago, and I don't think I've sat down since and like watched the whole thing through, just because at the end, like, I was not okay. I don't know what happened during that day, but I was just not okay at the end. Like, I couldn't stop crying, and it like did something to me. So I think I just had to face my fears and just go and sit down and fully watch it again.
Yeah, it might be this year. It might be time for
Yeah,
Spook
yeah.
Plus.
Maybe it is time. But no, yeah, I probably haven't seen this movie in 20 years. Like, I remember watching it in my old house, and yeah, I do not I did not remember a lot of the storyline. Like I was like, oh, they actually killed somebody. um, like the only things I remembered from the movie was the dancing scene in the kitchen when they were all like having fun with their aunts, and then at the end when they're in their witch outfits, like on the roof. But like I
Okay.
said, I totally forgot that they actually committed a murder and that they actually like tried covering it up, and then they uh, resurrected him. So I totally forgot all of that. I don't know how, but it just totally slipped my mind.
It is a lot darker than you think it is. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
actually think about it, I'm like, what was I doing watching this as a kid and why did I love it so much?
That's true.
But yeah, so I know you watch it at home, but I do want to share because this was a really big deal for me. But they did play it in theaters on August 11th, which was a day before my actual birthday, and of course, Mr. Spooks took me. That was like my actual birthday celebration. Got super dressed up, posted it on Instagram if you haven't seen it, and I got so nervous showing up to the theater like that because I don't normally put on. Actually, I don't ever go dressed as Mandy Spooks to the theater. It's like I'm out of office when I'm going to the movies. And it's funny because I go so often that I think even the workers were like, "You look different."
Yeah.
But it's been so packed because obviously movies are thriving, which has been amazing. And I love and hate it at the same time. But going into a theater just like that in August definitely put me outside of my comfort zone. Even Mandy Spooks still gets stage fright sometimes. So I was like, oh, just take the picture quick here. um, because I was out of my element. Usually when I go take pictures, it's like an event and it's expected. So I hadn't put my courage to the test like that in a while. But it's also like behind the entire meaning of this film of like embracing being different and stuff. So it was cool after I took the pictures. Some of the staff did say like, I really love your outfit. And they were like, are you ready for Practical Magic 2? Like they were so excited to talk about it. So it was nice to see that people who work at the theater also love movies and that's why they're working there. Um, but seeing it in theaters, I was not prepared. I have not seen a I mean, I've gone in the past to see them show like older movies, but especially since being a filmmaker, I had not seen something like this. So seeing it in the ratio that it was made is not like what it is now. And then you could see like the quality change, but it just felt
Mhm.
so warm and fuzzy. And I was immediately like, oh, this is going to be hard for me because I just felt so emotional the minute it started. And then I finally hit a point where I like, it's the same part of the movie every time where I just like bawl my eyes out. And it happened again. And then I got past it. And then seeing like all of the witchy iconic scenes on the big screen was just so good. I don't feel that Practical Magic 2 could top that feeling because it was getting to like relive the film I fell in love with.
That makes sense. I do feel like it did feel really nostalgic. Like I don't know, it just felt like a 90s movie in a weird way. Like I don't even know like what to point to exactly that makes it feel like a 90s film, but it just felt super super nostalgic. And yeah, I agree. I don't think the second one will probably pull that same feeling, kind of like Hocus Pocus 2, where like I really did enjoy Hocus Pocus 2, but there's just like it's not the same as like the original. I don't know, there's something different about I don't know, something they used to do, I guess, something in the formula that they used to put in to like older 90s movies, and I don't know, just it's a different feeling. But no, that is
Yeah.
really exciting when you can experience something that you're so used to watching like on a smaller screen and then it's just like blown up, and then having everybody else there who also likes that specific movie because that's the reason that you're all there to experience it in a bigger screen. So that sounds really nice to actually go to a screening like that. And that's something that I've been learning too recently is going to like these monthly horror movie things that I've been going to and just like watching or screening movies with other people that love horror, and you're just like all so like-minded. I don't know, it's a really cool feeling.
It is, definitely. It's hard to describe. Okay, so since this was your first time in a very long time, what were your initial thoughts? What did you think of the film overall?
Overall, I thought it was good. It was an entertaining storyline. I really enjoyed the beginning a lot because that's where they were kind of being raised as witches and actually like practicing the witchcraft, practicing their spells, which I really, really like. Like it really got into like, yes, we're witches and that's it. And because I feel like other witchy movies or like fantasy kind of movies, they kind of start out as like regular humans, or then they learn the craft, or like, oh, I have powers and let me learn how to use them. So I really enjoyed like the opposite approach where it was like, yes, we're witches, and then they kind of like stop using their powers. So I like the difference from previous like witchy or that type of movie. I also really enjoyed the random little lessons that it portrays throughout the whole movie, and also like the little quotes. I feel like this is like, I tried googling one quote because I wanted to make sure I got it right, but there's like a list of like so many quotes, and I'm like, oh yeah, these are actually all really good quotes. But the one that really stuck out to me was, being normal is not necessarily a virtue, it rather denotes a lack of courage. Appearances aren't what they seem. And I was like, oh, that's really good. Like, why am I always like so hung up of like wanting to be like blending in with everybody? Like, why do you want to like be like everybody else? Fine, don't you want to be just like your authentic self, I guess. But then I thought it was just like really cool, where it's like a commentary. I was like, just because they look normal or because they look like they're happy, you really don't know what they're going through. And then the auntie was just like exposing all of like the townspeople dirty laundry, like this guy did this and this woman is this. So it's just like a really good reminder to watch that, like, even like in today's day and age, where it's like today's online era is where people post all like the fun and exciting things, which I'm guilty of. I really only post like fun things I go to and things I do. So it's like a reminder, like, yes, like it looks like everything is good, but there's always a little struggle, behind the facade. And then another thing I really liked is the portrayal of like talismans in the modern world. I don't know if I'm getting like too deep into it, but specifically when the investigator or the cop kind of like the badge, like was his protection against the
Yes.
spirit. And I feel like the only reason it had that power is because he like fueled the talisman with power that came from like his commitment to protect people and to get justice. So it wasn't just like the badge that had this power. It was like his intention, his manifestation, his want to like protect. And I thought that was really cool that she kind of like incorporated like all these witchy things, but still like sticks to like a modern audience.
Yes, I agree 100% on that. And I love that it shows that you don't have to be like a literal witch to have
Mm-hmm.
magic and power. Like it all comes from inside you, which is kind of like really silly. But back to my origins as Mandy Spooks, is just like I've always kind of advocated that of like magic is what you make it, and if you
Mm-hmm.
believe and you find magic in tiny moments, like it is real. And so I feel like he kind of represents that in this world where magic is real, but he's not technically actually magical. Or is
Right.
he? Maybe she instilled a little magic in him when she cast her spell.
Yes, I have a question later on that, so we'll get to it. But do
Okay.
you have anything else that you wanted to add about your second, or not your second time? I'm sure you watched it millions of times, but your most recent time watching it.
um I don't know. Honestly, I feel like a lot of it will come out with what we talk about, and I don't want to spill the beans too soon.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, so I don't we kind of didn't like put our notes in as thorough as we normally do. I didn't put mine because I was like, if I start putting my notes, I'll just keep going and
Yeah.
going. And I was like, I'll just have to like riff off of you and figure out what I feel like talking about. Plus, if anyone wants my organized notes, like I said, that original episode is like there for you to listen to. But I'm more curious, since it sounds like you enjoyed it, but then you kind of hinted when you said the whole like 73% was accurate. So I want to dive into what you didn't enjoy about it first.
Was that I said is accurate? I think I said that's fair. Like, I get that people wouldn't really like it. I don't know. There's nothing really I didn't not like about the movie. It was just, I don't
Okay.
know. There was just something. I don't know. I guess it just didn't do like a perfect score for me for some reason. And I don't know what it was, but overall, loved it. It was good. And yeah, I just don't know why it wasn't like a 100% score for me.
Do you think that maybe you don't relate to it in a certain way?
I mean, I do have two sisters, but like I have two half sisters though. So I didn't really like grow up with them. So we never like grew up together or had like a bond like how these sisters did. So maybe that's why. Maybe I'd never had like a sisterly bond, I guess. But
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
don't
That's
know.
interesting because I feel like a really big part of it is the sisterhood part. And that was also a really common theme that came up when I covered it with like Woolsters responding and stuff, was just that it's that
Mm,
like sisterhood aspect that really makes it extra magical for a lot of us. So I was curious if maybe there's just that like small percentage of you that just doesn't find it like cutting deep because of
yeah,
that.
yeah. No, I think that's a pretty accurate explanation. Is I didn't really feel it cut deep because I don't really share those feelings with like a super, super close sister. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is, that I didn't really
Yeah.
super connect with it.
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of see that because I do see like you and I obviously kind of have that sisterhood in a weird way,
Yeah.
but we're not, I don't think we are like touchy-feely
Mm-hmm.
mushy type people. So I
Yeah, yeah,
think
yeah.
that's why I don't see it. But yeah, okay. So then what was your number one favorite moment before you get into all the
Oh,
others?
favorite moment. Let me look at the ones that I wrote down. Okay, I think my favorite moment was the scene where all the ladies came over to the house and they all brought their brooms with them. Like, I thought that was so clever. Like, I don't know if that was just like the portrayal of witches that these women already knew to bring a broom, but I don't know. I just thought it was clever. And I feel like they all kind of used them as their like a wand more than like something to fly on. It was like more of like their wand, more of like their weapon against the spirit that they're trying to contain. And then once they were able to destroy it, they all kind of used their brooms to like sweep away the ashes and like like get them out of the house. And I just thought that was a really clever portrayal of combining like a stereotypical witch to a typical housewife. So you think of a witch like flying on a broom, but then you also think of a housewife who was just like always cleaning and doing chores and doing this. So I thought it was a really cool way to like kind of like mash those two together and have them do something really powerful instead of, I don't know, being like a weak housewife or like, oh, they stay home and do nothing. For like they all came together and defeated this like big spirit. And I don't know, that scene really probably was my favorite.
You know what's funny is I never ever ever gave a second thought into like the meaning of the name practical magic, but ever since you started talking about the film, it's like literally adding practical use to all of these magical or
Mm-hmm.
magic which what are they called? Like stereotypes, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
lore, which I totally see. It's so funny. I never thought of it that way, but that's literally what the movie is like adding practical use
Yeah.
to all of these traditions. So that's pretty cool. Also, I feel like just the whole like sweeping the bad energy out
Yeah.
is like
Uh-huh.
so many different meanings. So that's really cool. Um okay, I'm honestly I don't even know where to start because it sounds like you have so much you want to share.
Well, I have two more things, but like I said, they all kind of blend together. So I don't know if
Okay.
you want me to keep going.
Yeah, let's have you go and then like let's have you word vomit about it and then I'll word vomit about
Okay.
it.
So I love the aunties so much. I loved that they loved chocolate so much. I just thought that was really cute. Because I want chocolate all the time and I want a brownie for breakfast too. Like I just thought I loved that was like their go-to to like make you feel better. Like, oh, we'll just have a brownie for breakfast or we'll just go have a chocolate. Um, so that was one of my little moments that I really liked. That was really cute. But then again, kind of looping in what I said before is when they kind of created their own coven out of all these ladies that were in the town, and they kind of just like put aside their differences and kind of came together to really help Jillian during this time. And it really reminded me of the show, which I know you didn't really love it, but Agatha All Along, where it kind of like brings all these random women together. But maybe they did have like connections in the past, but for the most part, they're all coming together that usually don't work together, and they kind of just come together to help each other and kind of defeat like the big bad. So I really liked how she was like on the phone calling them and just like having them come over, and then they actually did, which leads me to my next like favorite thing was the final scene when they're all in their witch costumes and they kind of like float down from the roof. And the reason I liked this scene was because it really showed how people are really afraid of the unknown. So when Sally invited all these women over, she kind of like confessed, like, yes, I'm a witch and blah, 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 blah. Like, I need your help, come over, whatever. And then they saw, when the ladies came over, they kind of saw, oh, these aren't like evil satanic witches. They're kind of, they started just all of a sudden like supporting them and doing the spell and joining in the little circle that they had, and kind of like just embracing them. So I really enjoyed that revelation of the women in town, because at the end, instead of being shamed as witches, they were now like celebrated as like the witches in town, and they went to all see them, like do the little trick. So I thought that was really, really cool. Kind of big circle moment for all of them to kind of like, yes, we're now embraced and we're not like shunned. But also I do want to say I don't have a problem with satanic witches. So if you praise Hecate, Satan, it's all cool to me. But no, I just loved how, yeah, like you said, like it's all like, I don't know, bringing like old folklore into a modern, in a modern way, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I really love that. And honestly, I think it's funny because I don't mean to like make everything about me and Mandy Spooks, but also it makes sense because this film is such a big part of a lot of the things I am in my life and stuff. And as you were saying, the whole like them being invited behind the curtain help them accept them more is also just a really big thing in my life that I've noticed like ever since manifesting Mandy Spooks basically too, is like the more authentic I am, outward, no matter like how weird the situation might be or anything, I feel that people accept me more than when I'm like, oh yeah, I like spooky stuff, versus like saying it loud and proud, like, I celebrate Halloween year round. What are you gonna do about it? No, I'm just kidding. That's not the energy I give. But I do feel that when you are more transparent and like authentic and proud of who you are and what you do, people are more receptive because they read that energy. Like, they feel your excitement and your enthusiasm. And I think it's more so about like Sally finally like being pushed into a situation where like you have no choice. You either embrace who you are and share it with everyone, or you're gonna lose your sister. And I think that is like the actual message, is that like being transparent about who you are does bring in more magic that way. And so I just think there's just like so many lessons wrapped into that one thing of her being forced into that situation. And yeah, like the more you hide something from people, the more it leaves them to write their own narrative too. So there's just like so many benefits to being your true witchy self.
100%.
Okay, so I guess, wait, was that all you had for your favorite stuff?
Yeah, I guess all my favorite stuff was at the end, like kind of like the end of the movie where I was like kind of wrapping everything up. I don't know. I just really enjoyed the ending of the movie.
That's cool. That is totally fair. I do think like the most memorable, exciting parts are in Act 3 of it, but I will say that I think like the end of Act 1 into Act 2 is the stuff that really gets me emotional. So for me, I am very close to my sister, and like the older that I've gotten to her, the older that I've gotten, the more different our relationship has evolved. And I think that's why every time I watch it, it just gets like more and more emotionally heavy for me, because of course there's a lot of like shame and guilt around leaving home. And this is going to be like a spoiler into one of my questions after this, but I've always resonated with Jillian, of course. Like, I'm the sister who left home, and I've always craved adventure and love. Thankfully I chose the right guy. Um, but yeah, I've always like heavily resonated with Jillian. Like, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be Jillian and like leave and have the adventurous life. And then I did leave, and then I became like resonating with her as just like the sister that goes back because she's like needs something, or her other sister needs something. And then this time around, I really resonated with, it's so crazy. It's a good thing I'm not in an emotional headspace. But the last time I was home, I told my sister about how I didn't understand how my niece loves me so much, because I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, she never like lived with me. She doesn't like, my nephew grew up with me a lot. And so I told her, like, I cried and I told her, like, I just don't understand what I did to deserve her love. And there's this part where like Jillian's nervous to meet the girls. And that part had never clicked to me. Like, you can watch this movie so many times at different phases in your life. And like that part, I was just like, oh my gosh, like that is a universal feeling of just like not knowing how kids or people in general will receive you after a long period of time. And so like that part really got me. But the part that like always breaks me is when Jillian shows up after the husband dies, but then she like disappears again. And it's always been so weird to me when I would watch it and think, like, it's so messed up of Jillian that, like, they don't really keep in
Mhm.
touch. Like, that's so weird to me, right?
Yeah.
And now that I'm finally older, I get it, of, like, sometimes your lives just get so busy, but you do just somehow always have that feeling of, like, I can tell that, like, she hasn't checked in. I should call her and see, like, what's going on. And so the part where she comes home, dang, I wasn't even emotional, but that's what it does to me. That part where she comes home just, like, always gets me. Like, I can't even talk about it, obviously, without crying, but it's just, for me, I think that's what makes this movie so, like, that feeling of, like, that I tell you, for women, is just every time you see it, if you have a sister, it just brings those feelings, because you know exactly how much you need your sister in those moments.
Mhm.
Sorry. Oh my gosh, I didn't think this was going to happen. And I just think it's like so hard to put into words. Like, you cannot put it into words or describe it unless someone else has experienced it. And so I think that is the magic of this film, is it's a movie about sisterhood and love more than it is about magic. Like, their love for
Mhm.
each other is what is magical.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Especially now I see why like it really has like a deep connection with you. And now I kind of get like why this connection is so strong because of your sister. And now that I'm thinking back towards the movie, I'm like, okay, I see how you could be the Jillian, like going out and doing your own thing. Because that's kind of what I guess we can get into the next question is like, are you a Sally or a Jillian? Where you were that Jillian wanted to go and to like do more. And I always felt like I was more of like the Sally, but I always wanted to be the Jillian. Like, I wanted to be the free spirit. I wanted to be the person that does whatever they want without anybody questioning them. I wanted to be like the hot ginger that does whatever. But it was always, I was always like the Sally, you know, where I would be more like reserved or just wanted to be blend in, just wanted to have like a simple life. So I don't know. Now that you were like explaining your reasonings, I'm like, okay, I really get why people love this movie. But again, it's like something that I don't have like a connection to. And I think that's like
Yeah.
the really good thing about, not like we said before, not only horror movies, but just movies. When you just have like this connection with it, it just does something to you.
Yeah, and it's just crazy too how like they both embody each other's qualities too. It's just that they like show up in different ways. And I think too that's been the perspective that has changed for me, like every time you watch it at a different point in your life. Like, there were times when I watched the movie and I was just like, oh, how could Sally be like that? Like, Jillian's right. Like, you shouldn't want to blend in, and you shouldn't, like, you get so angry over it sometimes. But then, like, as I get older, like, I was watching it this time, and I'm like, you know what? Sally's a badass because, like, she wanted normal, but she goes and freaking kills a guy for her sister. Like, but
Yeah.
that's how it is. Like, you can have all these qualities, but the minute that, like, your sister or your loved one is in trouble, like, all of those things go out the door. And Jillian, too, like, she is crazy and, like, she wants all this adventure and stuff. But again, the minute she sees that her sister needs more of that stability, like, she does that for her too. So it's just crazy to see all of it. And I just want to say, like, I love Jillian and just, like, how loud and proud she is. Like, the scene where she goes into the classroom with all of the moms and, like, lashes out at them and stuff. Like, I'm just like, hell yeah. Like, because if you can't join them, then fight them. I don't know what the saying is. But that's what I love about it, is that they both, like, push each other out of their comfort zones. And I think that that's a big thing too, is, like, me and my sister can clash sometimes, but also like, force each other out of certain, like, ways of thinking. And so it's just a universal feeling overall.
Yeah.
And then on a lighter note, I feel like I must need to touch up my makeup, so I apologize if I'm a mess. But another thing I really love is the soundtrack, the music. This is the only soundtrack in history that I repeatedly come back to all the time. I think I've said this before. I think it might have been Poppy that told me once that she, like, listens to it. I don't remember who it was, but that is, like, something I always come back to because it is so relaxing, so cozy, so magical. And I kind of switch between, like, listening to the score and, like, when I need to focus, and then I listen to the soundtrack with, like, Stevie Nicks, Faith Hill, all those things. I think that is a really big component to the nostalgia in the film.
Yeah, for sure. Like, when the songs came up, I was like, oh, this is a throwback. Like, this is, like, peak 90s. I was even singing along with Goomba on the side.
That's
No, that
funny.
was a
I
good
know. I was at the theater. I was trying so hard not to sing out loud. That's a big part of it. Okay. Anything else, or do you have any other questions?
I do, but I'll leave my last question till the end.
Okay. I'm trying not to get too into, like, the film talk about the movie, like the technical side of it.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that the house is a really big part of what everyone loves about this film. And seeing it again on the big screen was just like, you don't see art direction like this anymore in film. So I'm really excited to see it in Practical Magic 2 and see how they rebuilt it, because I did hear that it had to be rebuilt. I do have a theory that they made it into a sound stage this time instead of, like, an actual on set location. So I'm curious to see if you can feel that when you watch the film, because I could already kind of see it in promos, but I'm hoping that the promos are, like, a special set piece they're using and that that's not the actual house that they used.
I actually haven't seen the trailer. Like, I've seen, like, advertisements for it, but I haven't actually sat down and watched the trailer for part 2. Like, I don't even know, like, what, like, they're, like, portraying the plot is in part 2. Do they explain anything in the trailer?
They do, but I kind of think you should go in blind if you haven't seen it at this point.
That's fine. I like going in blind into things. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, I can tell. I don't know. I feel optimistic, but also after seeing the first one in theaters, I'm kind of feeling like there's no way they could do it better. Like, you just can't.
Yeah. But I don't know. Sandra Bullock, Nicole Kidman, they're such good actresses. I don't know. Maybe they'll bring their magic and just, like, make it a really good hit, which I'm hoping
They
for. I hope it does
are.
really well.
I am really excited to see what happens. Okay, so I had one more question, and I don't know if you have a different question, but my question was, if you were in this situation, would you take a partner?
I struggled with this question. I just sat there and like looked at it. I was like, I don't know what to say. So I literally wrote down, I don't know. But what I was thinking, I was like, I don't know, being alone forever to like not experience loss just sounds so lonely on its own. Because even if you think about it, like everybody eventually dies. Like just because you're not under a curse doesn't mean someone's not going to die. So I'm like, does it make sense to deprive yourself from that experience? Maybe not. Are you killing somebody in the process? Maybe not. I don't know. Like, would have they died if you didn't get with them? I don't know. Uh, but I also made like a little joke. I was like, I guess that's why witches always have a familiar, because they may or may not be cursed, so they always have like a little pet with them. but
Aww.
but I don't know. I don't know. I think I do have a solution, but probably not a good one.
Okay.
But I do want to say that the author kind of gave a reason to like why witches are alone in their cottages is because like they're probably always like shunned or cursed. So it's like, oh, that's like a really good like reason why they're always like alone and stuff. But maybe I would create my own monster like in American Horror Story. So like if they die, I can always like stitch them up and like start again. Kind of like a witch hack. I don't know.
So
This is a hard
making
question.
so making the love of your life versus finding.
Mm-hmm. Like a little Frankenstein. And it's okay if he dies. Like, I'll just bring him back.
I feel like there must be some weird loophole in that you're not
No, I
getting
know.
right.
I know. They even said it in the movie. Like, when you bring someone back, you don't know what you're bringing. So it'll probably be a cursed demon or something. But I don't know. I really didn't know how to answer this question because I'm like, is it fair to you? But is it also fair to them to get into this relationship? I don't know. What about you?
It is really tough. And that's the question that Gary raises at the end because he says he doesn't believe in it. Like he basically, so she says that badge has magic because you believe in it.
Right.
And then later he says, I don't believe in curses. So, but it's just like in my head, I'm like, there is no way you wouldn't believe in it at this point, sir. Like, you've been proven over and over
Mm-hmm.
again that magic is real. So, how could you not believe that the curse is real? Like, you
Yep.
must be in that state of mind of like, I don't care if it is, I love you anyway, which is fine, but just call it what it is, dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, with that being said, I don't know. I feel like the older I've gotten, and I, w- it's so weird, but recently I have found that it is possible to fall more in love with your partner as time goes on. I don't know why in my head I felt like you love someone and you love them, but apparently there's levels to climb even once you've married them. And so for me lately, I have felt a lot of, I guess like with this movie, and there's just been like so many things on the news and around and things people are going through that I have really pondered about this a lot of just like the fear of losing Rudy. But also, it's a recurring thought I have about my dogs all the time. And that's not something new. So when you said that, the whole like familiar thing too, and you made me realize that I always say I don't think I could have another pet after this because like I don't think I'll ever recover the day I lose them. And so it makes me wonder if I went through the loss once with a partner, I don't know that I could do it a second time for sure. So I guess that's my answer is like the first time I might be too weak and fall
Mm,
for the person anyway. But then after experiencing the heartache once, like, I don't know how Sandra Bullock is going to do it. Like, it's so
yeah.
hard.
Because it should happen unless she figures something out. Which kind of leads me to my question that I had. Since I'm not that familiar with, like, I guess the fandom of this movie, I'm not sure if there's like theories out there or if this is like discussed in the book. But I do have this question. So they say Sally is said to be this powerful witch, right? Like she's powerful, more powerful than Jillian. Did she create Gary when she did that spell when she was young? Or was it just a coincidence that some dude already existed with the heterochromia eyes and she put that trance on him at that point, that spell on him, and when he grew up, he was like destined to find her? Because he did say he was born with it, but then I don't know if this is like an ongoing theory that people are like have their own, write your own ending kind of thing. So I don't know. Maybe I missed something in the movie, or is this something that people like discuss?
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Sorry. I couldn't help myself. Okay, so this is actually part of a book series.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never read the books. I have tried so many times to listen to the audiobook, and for some reason I just have never been able to like get through it. So I fear that there is probably a very solid answer to this, and I don't know it. So
Okay.
any Goldsters listening, Poppy, not to point you out, but any Goldsters listening that have read the books, if you want spoilers, Rabbit, please let us know in the comments. But maybe like put spoiler and then like indent, like period, indent, period, like a bunch of things, so that if I'm the one who sees it, I'm just like, Rabbit, this one's for you, because I don't want the spoiler, because I'm gonna go see the movie, and I don't know, like I've seen the trailer and have assumptions too, but I really don't know for sure what the answer is to that.
Yeah. I was just very curious. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like part of me thinks that she created him because they say like she's so powerful. I'm like, oh, well then she made this funny little spell so she never falls in love, but she accidentally created the perfect husband for her. I don't know. That's my theory.
Well, okay, so I don't know if it's 3 or 4 books. I wanted to clarify that because I think I might have said 3. But my theory, without knowing anything about the books, or like the question I have, is they show a clip of him as a kid, and then the like leaf from her spell follows him, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So my thing is it does cast a spell on him because he hears her, like one of the things she says is he'll always hear me call for him, or like my cry for help or something like that. And that is instilled in him when the leaf, like the spell makes it to him. So my thing is the love artificial, and that's why he'd be
Mm-hmm.
safe from the curse, because like she cast a spell, so like technically do they love each other? Because
Right.
the aunts allude to this with the first husband, where they say we never thought you'd actually fall in love with him. So maybe that was like her one grand love of her life, and this one's just like, it's cool, we could do a little flingy fling with the cop.
Yeah. No, I mean, that raises another question. Like, is it actual love or is it a curse or a spell?
A
Like, is he
spell.
under a spell? I don't
Is it a
know.
one wish willow situation?
Exactly. This was a obsession before obsession.
That's what I was thinking the whole time when I watched the movie. I was like, oh, but Obsession is so unique.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
I think, yes, I think Poppy or anybody else, if you know the lore of this, just let me know. I'm sure they'll change it up in the movie. Plus, I also like knowing things, so I'll
You
stop
like
thinking
going
about it
in
once I know.
blind, but you also
I
like
also like to know
knowing.
things. Yeah. Kind of like, I don't know, just like when you watch uh the Hunger Games. Like, I want to know what happens, and I'm okay like spoiling it, like reading the book. But then I don't know, like I also like to go in like horror movies blind because I'm like they show too much in the previews and the trailers. So it's a battle, I guess.
Yeah.
Wanting to know and not know. But this I want to know. It's okay if you spoil it for me.
Okay, well, I have a question. What do you hope happens? Especially since you haven't seen the trailer at all. Like, in your head, what do you hope happens from there?
I do have an idea, but I don't want it to sound like I'm like pessimistic.
Ooh,
Like I'm
okay.
like I'm a negative Nancy kind of person. But I just think it would make a really good movie. And I feel like they might do the opposite of what I'm saying, because I feel like the American movie maker people, the higher ups, they like to put out movies that make people feel good, like happy endings, and they defeat the bad guy and everybody's happy now. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to have this issue of this man's going to die, like Gary's going to die or something, but then they're going to find a way to like save him or break the spell or something. But I think it would be really tragic and awesome if he dies. Like it would just, I don't know, that's what the movie is, or they're cursed. But then I'm sure they'll find a way to lift the curse. But I don't know, it's just like something so interesting where it's like, no, you're cursed and this is just the way it is. Like, sorry, like the bloodline is cursed because of what happened way back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I want to happen. I want it to be sad and they can't overcome this curse, but I have a feeling that they're all going to be happy at the end. Or there'll be like a sacrifice or something.
Oh,
don't know.
man.
And I'm just like
Well-
throwing random ideas out there.
No, that's funny. I think the people who have read the books are having a ball hearing this right now.
Yeah.
I will say I don't have any other hopes other than like one very specific thing. I do hope that Jillian finds her man, but I hope that it's like one of those where she refuses to like take him serious because she's just like, you don't get it. I'm cursed. Plus, I was with this cycle. I ain't doing this shit again.
Mm-hmm.
And that he like fights for her. Like it's this like game of him having to like earn her, because I don't know, I just think it'd be fun to watch. But again, I also like, I've seen the trailer. There are hints that that could happen, but really no confirmation. So that's my hope, is that like Jillian tries to avoid love because she finally learned her lesson that it sucks sometimes. And now she's going to kind of like be in this state of like where she doesn't want to be with a guy. And finally, that's when love's going to happen for her. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I can't wait. September 11th, right? I think.
I think it is. Yes. Okay. So it's time for It's Freaking Bats.
Is that the right one? I don't know.
Yes, it is. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, how many bats would you give this film, Rabbit?
For practical magic, I really enjoyed this movie. I loved how it somehow pulled like this nostalgic feeling out of me. And I love the storyline. I love the modernization of like this witchy folklore stuff. There was just, I guess I just didn't connect with it the same way that you did or other people might have. So I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 bats. What about you?
I will take it. It's pretty obvious I would give this film 5 freaking bats. It's always been a 5 for me at every stage in my life, and it's one that just keeps getting better. The older you get, the more life, I think, throws at you that makes you resonate with even more things in it. And yeah, that's all I got to say on it.
A 5 out of 5.
Yes. Okay, do you have anything else you would like to add?
No, I think I hit on everything I wanted to say.
All right, then. We hope you had fun at our spooky slumber party.
And remember, we're haunting you with new episodes on the 13th and the 26th of every month.
Until next time, sending you ghouls and kisses. Bye.
Bye.
Ha 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 ha.